Welcome to today's episode of Retail Initiative. I am so glad that you're here. I am beyond thankful that time is such a valuable resource and that you spend it, whether you're on the treadmill or in the car or in the office, whatever it is. I'm just grateful that you're here. Today, what I want to share with you is something that I think is one of the ways to bring joy into your business. So we're going to cue the theme and then we're going to get right into it. The rules of retail are changing. One by one, corporate retailers are closing their doors, and some call it the death of retail. But those rules never applied to independent retailers like us. We're writing our own rules. We're here to answer the questions about how to grow your business, stay competitive, and still have a life. I'm Josh Orr, and this is the Retail Initiative Podcast. What I need to do, because I want to share some of this, but I need to lay a little bit of groundwork, and I need to explain what my company does, because that will help explain the story that I'm going to share with you. So my company does two things. We help retailers identify the tools and systems and processes, the plural of process, I think it's processes, that they need to implement to scale and grow. And most of the time that means helping people move to new POS systems and learn how to use those in the best way possible from the very beginning. The other thing we do is e-commerce design and development, but that really has nothing to do with this story. So a part of POS is support. Of course, like retailers have support directly from the POS systems. You probably have experience with those and know that there's a reason why we also will offer it. And an unfortunate part of support is weekend support. Like we have to help people, at least our people that are invested in our business, we have to help them on the weekends. And it's really, really hard to find a way to balance like being awesome for your customers and being a good dad, being a good husband, and being present. And I'm sure in your business you have dealt with the exact same thing where you have all these needs and it feels like you have this beast that just wants to suck up all of your time, all of your resources, and it's hard. And what I want to share about is a story that really has changed everything, and it changed the way that I'm starting to approach my business, and I think you can apply it to yours as well. I was at my son. I have a 3-year-old son, and he's like in this league for little kid soccer, and it's just like kids running around kicking a ball. But at the end of it, they do this thing where every kid goes and kicks a goal, and everyone stands around cheering for that kid. And I got a ticket from a customer and I stepped away to help them. Here's the thing with this customer. I had been working with them for years, and honestly, like Saturdays and Sundays to them were just another day. And they treated those days like we owed them help on anything on those days, even though we said like, hey, we'll help you with emergencies, which means like you can't take money because that's an emergency in a business. But they would have this urgent reports question, and then there was never gratitude. There was never any acknowledgement of the time that had been done. And I'm at this soccer game and I'm on the phone. I had stepped away and I'm kind of far away from where the action's happening. And I'm on the phone with this guy trying to help and trying to do something for him that is helpful. And he's like annoyed that he's on the phone with me. But I'm watching as this like group of people cheer on my son. And they're like yelling like, Ryan, Ryan. And I am watching this from a distance. And that was when I realized, oh my gosh, like what am I doing? Like this is a customer that is not... They're likely not going to continue buying with us beyond paying for some of the small one-off services that we do, and I'm spending all my time here. Have you ever done that in your business? Have you had that loud squeaky wheel that isn't a huge customer for you, and you invest so much time, not sometimes with them, but also you invest so much time mentally and emotionally on those people? And I think what I had to do was I took a step back and I was like, who is my perfect customer? What I've talked about with you is the same thing I have to think about for me. It's like, who do I want to serve? I want to serve retailers that are really serious about growing. I want to serve retailers that are willing to put in the work, who are willing to actually implement systems and processes that will help them grow. And instead, I was helping someone that really didn't want to pay for someone else to do the work, and they didn't want to do the work themselves. And I had put up with that for so long because I was scared about losing the revenue. And I'm sure that's the case with you. If you're like, oh, I'm so terrified about losing this customer, but they take up so much of your emotional and physical energy that it robs you of joy in your business. And so, that week I sent an email and we had a phone call, and I let them know that, we were going to discontinue weekend support. And they had 90 days. I wasn't like a jerk about it. I don't want to leave anyone in a bad position, but I had to make a change for my business, for me to have balance. And so now what I've implemented is we looked at who was using up our weekend support the most, and we asked ourselves, is that our perfect customer? Are we actually able to help them in the ways that we want to help businesses? And if they weren't, then we sent those emails letting them know, hey, we think you'd probably gain more value from someone else. And, we gave them time periods. We didn't just say you're on your own. We were nice about it. And I think that that's something that you could 100% apply in retail as well, is thinking through who is your perfect person. And if the person that's the squeaky wheel isn't that, then it's okay to let them go. It's okay to say, hey, I really think you'd be better shopping somewhere else. And so that's something that I would encourage you to think through. But on the other side of that, when it is like an upset situation, I do think always take those and grow. In all situations, there's never there should never be a moment where you're hearing a customer complaint and not hearing the truth. And even as obnoxious as sometimes the complaints can be, you need to learn. If you're in business, any amount of time, you're going to have an unhappy customer. We got to learn from those. But the thing that if you're going to leave with anything, it's this question: why are you in business, and what is your business there for? I do my mastermind, which actually we launched that in a week and a half. Super excited. That will be at I think it's at manifest.retailinitiative.com. But you can also go to my Instagram at RetailJosh, and we'll link and stuff to there. But anyway, one of the things that we do is we'll ask, what is your goal? Why are you in business? Okay, so it's to make $1 million. Why do you want to make $1 million? Well, because I want a nice house. Why do you want a nice house? Well, because when I was a kid, I didn't have the nicest house, and I really want my kids to have something different. Okay, so why is it important to you that your kids have something different? Well, I want to be a better parent, be better to my kids than my parents either were to me or were able to provide for me. Okay, so it's about providing something for your kids. Why is that so important to you? Well, because they're my number one priority. You get the point here. I'm saying, okay, what's the goal? But then why is that the goal? Okay, well, why is that the goal? Okay, well, why is that the goal? Okay, then why is that the goal? And you peel those layers back and you realize, for me, a lot of my goals were twofold. It was the impact that I get to have on retailers' lives, but it also came down to my wife and my family and the ways that I can support them, the ways that I'd love to share my story someday, but I didn't grow up with a lot. In fact, I grew up with hardly anything most of my life. I remember when I forgot my first name brand shoe. It was the best day in the world to see the Nike swoosh on my shoe. It was a really big deal. And so I've worked really hard to provide a different life for my kids. But it's not just those things. And if it's just those things, then I think I missed the point. So if it's so much of it is about my kids, why would I build my business around something that ultimately doesn't let me be physically there with them and physically present with them? Right? I hope that this resonates with you some. If your biggest goal is these certain things, yet you're building something that takes you away from that, we're missing the point. So how do we then go from having this greater goal that we've realized, and we are seeing where our actions are taking us away from that? And I think the solution there is that you have to build systems and processes that let you grow and scale. What I mean by that is if you don't want to have to be at your business on Saturdays, then you need to have a process that a team that you hire to be in your store on Saturdays can follow. If you don't want to have to be entering items manually one by one in your POS system or your e-commerce solution, you need to have a process in place for creating items and receiving them into your inventory that you can teach to someone that they can do. And then that when they move on, you can teach to someone else. These process and these tools have to be in place in order for you to begin to remove yourself from certain aspects. So I hope that you're encouraged here to feel the freedom, give yourself permission to recognize your greater goals and then build a business that supports the greater goals, because it likely isn't money. Money is like the tip of the iceberg on business. It's going to be so much more underneath that. And I think once we can identify that, we can then make decisions on where to invest our resources, where to invest our time, and what needs to change. So I hope that you can spend some time doing that. This was sort of a different episode, but I enjoy it. I hope you are as well. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I'd love if you were to check me out at RetailJosh. And DM me, say that you listen to the podcast. I love those messages. You can learn more about my company and what we do at streamlineretail.com. And I hope to connect soon. So have a great week, and I'll catch you next time.